Ending is probably the most important thing to know when you're writing a story. Not to say that you have to know the ending, because I know that's kind of a tall order for a lot of people. A lot of people want to go on these journeys with the characters and find out where they end. But for me, the end and the beginning need to be, I don't want to say a mirror image, but more or less kind of come full circle. That's really important to me in storytelling. And so a lot of times I will have my endings first. I will know exactly, I'll have a premise, and I'll try to be thinking about a theme of some sort I want to explore, characters I want to explore. And the ending comes to me pretty quickly a lot of times. I don't want to say that I'm beholden to it, that I am locked in by it. If I get to the end and a different ending seems more appropriate, I will change it. But it's hard to know where to go when you don't have that goalpost, that signpost, right? And so I think when you write blindly, like I know we keep talking about Stephen King, but Stephen King, he's famously known for just pantsing, which is having no outline and starting with a premise with maybe a couple characters and then see where it goes. I can't do that. I appreciate the catharsis one gets from reaching the end of something and seeing that it mirrors back to where these characters started their journey. And so, endings I often have more or less dialed in before I begin.
And how's your process changed? It's safe to say you're a plotter then, but was it the case from the start when you really decided to go in and start writing long form and publish novels? Was it the case from the start, or you just found your way to it?
Well, the field started as a National Novel Writing Month project years and years and years ago, and I let it sit. I wrote that completely without an outline. It was just kind of fun. I was doing it with my friend. Ironically enough, it was the friend who was inspired the friend of the protagonist in that novel. And then I went back and started taking all these pieces together and started putting them together in kind of an outline, short outline form. Now, I wish I had a process. I keep looking for a process. And this is another thing I'll tell to any writers out there who are struggling with it, because I'm struggling with it every single day, is do you outline? How much do you outline? Do you just pants the entire thing? Do you start from nothing and just go and figure it out in the end? Do you do what they call a vomit draft, where you just you turn your inside editor off and just go, don't worry about the prose? Like I said, I'm still looking for that process. Usually, the way I begin now, I've learned this from Tim Schafer. If you don't know who Tim Schafer is, he is the CEO, founder of Double Fine Studios, which is an independent, I think they're independent still, game company who's done like Brutal Legends, Psychonauts, et cetera, et cetera. But he has this process where he goes out and he buys a notebook and he sits in his office and he just free writes. He just, anything, drawings, notes, he just goes and goes for 2 hours every day. I can't say I do that for 2 hours when I'm doing it, but, and once he gets to the end of that notebook, he knows what the story is. It's not perfect. It's still just kind of like a collection of ideas, but he knows the themes, the characters, the overall plot. And I thought, hey, I'm going to try that. And so I did do that with actually book 2 that I'm working on right now, probably a year or so ago. And I just had a little notebook and I was just kind of like writing my thoughts as they poured out, not trying to write prose, not even trying to write an outline. Just, even if it was like, I don't know where I should begin, anything that's pouring out of your head. And I promise you that something will come out. That's how I came up with the cast of characters. Just names would pour out. The significance of those names would pour out. And it's kind of interesting. It's like you just have to let your subconscious go sometimes. And so now I really try to, if I'm stuck anyway, if I don't have a full cast of characters or a plot, I'll sit down with a notebook and just handwrite. Just go, my thoughts, and eventually something comes to me. Usually once I have that, I will try to create a rough outline. But I am notorious for, I hate outlines. I hate the process, because for me, discovering a story is writing.